welcome to Theory Thursday, episode 2. Today we're going to talk about what you should do when you screw up a trick. I mean, what do you do? Do you walk up, do you just be like, hey, let's try another one, I screwed it up. What do you do, right? First of all, that's not what you do. What I like to do is always have a way to change it into an effect or make it into a joke, okay? And I'm going to give you a couple examples of how to do that, okay? So we're just going to go basically with a basic effect, like, pick a card, find it, maybe using key card or controlling or whatever you're doing. So let me just grab a deck of cards real quick. Alright, I am back. Okay. And what you're going to do, basically, let's just say you're doing let me move the camera down just a little so you can see the cards better. Okay, so let's say you're just doing that basic, they pick a card, let's say it's that card, for instance, the 10 of clubs. It's placed back into the pack. Okay, placed back into the pack and either controlled to the top using your favorite method, or there's a key card, something like that, right? So let's say you're doing the controlling version of it, right? And you screw up, and it ends up this, you screwed up, you messed up, you thought you had it and you didn't, you had something different, right? So let's say it ended up, boom, you turn over the top card and it's the 2 of clubs. What do? Do you say, I found your card, it's right here, the 2 of clubs? Or do you, how do you go into that, right? So here's a couple things that I do. The first thing is, you never want to show the card right off the bat. You don't want to pick it up and be like, boom, 2 of clubs, that's your card, right? You want them to tell you what the card is, and then reveal that you have the right card, okay? So, and I'm a victim of this. I do it a lot. I'll be so confident that I got it right, and I'll just be like, 2 of clubs, and they go, no, that wasn't it. It was the king of diamonds, or what was it, 10 of clubs? They'll be like, it was 10 of clubs, and then you either can go, well, I screwed that trick up, or you can go into something else. What I like to do, if you're gonna do a joke, just do it like that. Literally, just go, well, I screwed that trick up, and just throw the cards, like all of them. Just throw the whole deck. It's funny, and it gets a good laugh, and they're gonna remember that they laughed, and they're gonna forget that you screwed up the trick, and you're getting a laugh out of it, right? So you do it. You go 2 of clubs, and then you go, no, it was the 10 of clubs. You go, well, I screwed that up, and just throw the cards, and then go into something different. Use a different deck of cards, or do some coin tricks or mentalism or something like that, right? So another thing you can do though is, let's say you pull it up and you face it towards yourself, and you ask them, what was your card? And they say 10 of clubs. You go, really? It was 10 of clubs. Now you're ready to turn this over and reveal it was a 2. But I'll say, now the first one is, you can say, really? It wasn't the 2 of clubs? And they go, no. And you're like, really? And I set the card down, and then I go through the deck towards myself. I'm like, really? Would you say 10 of clubs? That's so weird. And you go through, like you're looking for it, and let's just say it was in the middle somewhere. It's actually on top. But let's just say, for instance, it's in the middle, right? I'm going to go through and I'm going to find the 10. And I'm just going to either call it or cut it to the top. You can cut it. I mean, no one's going to say, notice what you're doing, because they think you screwed the trick up, right? Which you did. And you can either do that, or you can just call it to the top as you go. Crap, where is it? Wait, you're sure it wasn't the 2 of clubs? You're sure of that, right? And they go, yeah. And you're like, okay, well, hold on to that. I'm gonna grab. Actually, here, I want you to see something real quick. Just look for it. Just tell me, because it just doesn't make any sense. Like, do you see it in there? Is the 10 of clubs, right? Just see, is it in there anywhere? And you go through the cards and it's not there. And you say, that's weird. What did you say it was? The 10? No, it wasn't that, because isn't that the card I handed you? And then they turn over the card that you handed them, and it's the 10. All I did there was just pick up the card and said, "You sure it wasn't the 2 of clubs?" And as I said that, I back off and I just do a quick top change. So I just here I top change and there's the 10. I'm not going to go into the top change or any moves right now. I'm just giving you ideas. You don't have to top change it. You can also do a double lift and do it that way, or even a shapeshifter change. So you could show the card and say something like, "Okay, it's not the 2. Let's try something here. Just concentrate on your card. Ready? 1, 2, 3, just like that. Does it look like your card now?" And you change it that way. Another thing you can do is just the shake change and say, just, what I'll do is I'll say, "That's not it. Okay, I want you to see it changing into your card. Ready? If I just shake, see how it just morphs right into your card?" And I do that and change it that way with the shake change or twirl change, whatever you want to go by. I call it the shake change. But after that, that's 2 different methods you can do if you reveal what the card is. Now, let's say you don't want to reveal that that's the card, or maybe you messed up a couple times and you've already done those things. You want to try something different. This time what you can do is when you say, "What was your card?" and they say 10 of clubs and you have the 2 of clubs in your hand, you say, "Really? Wait, what did you say it was?" The 10 of clubs, that's odd. And then just go through the deck and look for it, and then place it on the top of the deck, which I already have done that, either by cutting or calling it. Once you get it on the top, all you're going to do is this, and you're just going to do a double lift and say, "Wait, what did you say your card was? What did you say your card was again?" The 10. What was it? The 10 of clubs. Well, it's a good thing I took the 10 of clubs out of the deck, and you just take the double and turn it and say, "Well, it's a good thing that's the card I was using, the 10 of clubs," and then you can just do this little move here and hand it out, and everything's examinable. This move here, and I'm just going to try to get this in camera so you can see what it looks like in performance. But this is the move, so you're in a double, right? And you go to hand it out, and you do that, and you hand out the card, and it's 1 card. This is something I've seen Jay Sankey do a lot. What he does this a lot. I'm not sure if it came from Jay Sankey or not, but I know I see Jay does this a lot. And what you're doing is basically you're turning the double over like this, and you're just going to use your fingers underneath to peel off the other card, right? That's on there, and you're going to peel that off as you bring the card forward. Now, you have to kind of have a reason, right? There's always got to be a reason for what you're doing. I mean, it kind of looks weird to just go like that, right? Like, what's the reason for that, right? So what I do is I show the card and I say, okay, so it's the 10 of clubs, and I do it like I'm setting it back on top, and then I just turn and I go, "Actually, here, check it out. Good. You can check it out. You can examine it, the 10 of clubs, and reveal it that way." So that's another way. Another thing you can do is say, let's say it was the 10 of clubs, right? And you pulled out the 3 of hearts, and you said, "Okay, I got your card right here, the 3 of hearts, right?" And they go, "No." I'm like, "Wait, it's not the 3 of hearts." And now I've controlled the 10 to the top and classic palmed it. Then I can put the card in my pocket as I fan the deck out, or as I hand the deck to them and say, "You should. It wasn't the 2. Here, go ahead through the deck and just find your card for me." And especially if it's a signed card, it's good. That's even an effect you could do, right? But if you do screw it up, those are a couple different ideas of ways you can get into it. I really don't recommend you ever saying, looking at them and saying, "Crap, I screwed it up." You can just be like, "Well, that didn't work. Let's try something else." You can. That's perfectly fine. The only thing with that is it's gonna downgrade your magic, and I guess it goes by your character as well. With me, it's like I'm just trying things, right? If I screw it up, I'm like, well, I can just be like, "Well, oops," but I like to make a joke about it because I do joke a lot. So usually if I do screw it up and I'm already here, I'm like, "Is that your card?" And they go, "No, it's not the 3 hearts." I go, "Well, I screwed that up," and just throw the card or the whole deck and just be like, "Let's try something different." And just go into something else. Anything, even if it's not card tricks, just going with anything other out of the, if you're doing mentalism as well. With mentalism, the neat thing about that is you need to screw up every once in a while to make it look more amazing. So you should try to add in some screw ups, some slight screw ups or some 100% screw ups, and just try to add those in. With mentalism, let's say you're doing something where it's just mathematical, right? You're going to end up, I'm trying to get the light out of here because it's kind of bright. So if you're just trying on purpose to end up, with reading someone's mind, or maybe you've done a mathematical thing, right, and they've written down and it comes up to a number. Let's say the number is like 396, right, and that's going to be the answer, right, and you're revealing that. Now there's a fact that I'm going to be teaching next week that involves this ending, where ends up 396 is the answer, or there's actually multiple answers you can get, which is really cool for a mentalism effect, and to still be able to figure out the answer. So I'm not going to go in the method yet because we're going to do that next week on Mentalism Monday. But basically, with that effect, you get to the end and you're like, and you're revealing it. What if you reveal the wrong number? And it is possible to do that. Or what happens is you could reveal the number backwards accidentally, if you don't pick up the signals correctly. Now there are ways to stop that, and we'll talk about that on Monday. But something else that you can do to help yourself with that is to, if that does happen, it doesn't look bad on your part. You don't have to do it and then go, was it 369? And they go, yeah, it was. Or if you say, was it 693? I think you're thinking of a number, right? It's 693. Is that correct? And they go, oh, that was so close. It was actually 396. And I go, all I do right there, I say, okay, I had it backwards. See, sometimes it comes mirrored. It depends on the person, but sometimes I get the image mirrored. Does that make sense to you? Sometimes it's backwards, but I did get the digits right. Yes, okay, and it's still an amazing effect, even if the digits are backwards, because they could have chosen, they choose any numbers they want, and you ended up revealing the numbers, and they just think of it. They don't write anything down, or they write stuff down, but they don't have to write anything down, and it's just crazy, and it's awesome. And with mentalism, you need to screw up, so it's different than card tricks. So, but you don't want to screw up the good stuff. If you're doing a chair test, you don't want to end up having two people in the right number, having the right number chairs, and then the last two people have the wrong numbers. They're backwards. You don't want that to happen. Maybe one little piece of a chair test could be out of order, like if you were revealing a card and a chair test at the same time, or some message at the end and it was slightly off. That's fine. Another thing that I like to do is like a heads or a pick a hand thing. Darren Brown does this a lot, where he has someone, and it's one of the things that made Darren Brown really famous for mentalism is this little thing where you take a coin and they have it in their hands, and you got to pick which hand the coin is in. And there's so many different methods. There's gimmicks to figuring this out, to doing this, and I just use psychology with it, and we might talk about this in a future video, how to do that with psychology. But basically, what you do is once you know what hand is in, you can actually get it wrong a few times in a row, and nobody's going to be like, oh wow, he got it wrong, he sucks. It's okay to get it wrong a couple times, and then you're gonna go boom, 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 and get it right. Darren Brown gets it right every single time, but you can get it wrong. Because the reason Darren Brown gets it right all the time is because he's telling you, this is tricks. I'm not really reading your mind. So if I'm doing a trick, I should be getting it right every single time, right? If you want to be that performer that says, I'm really reading your mind, or wants to give the impression that you're really reading somebody's mind, then you might want to screw up a couple times, because it's going to look like you really are reading someone's mind even more. And it's a hard concept for people that especially went from card tricks into mentalism. But enough about rambling on about mentalism. We went over a couple ways. If you're doing a card trick, what do you do if you screw up? There's a couple ways for you guys to get out of that. And next week, what I'd like to talk to you guys about is what to do about examining your cards. Okay, if you want to let them examine the deck or the gimmick that you might be using at the time, can you let them examine it, and should you let them examine it? That's what we're going to talk about next week, because basically a lot of times people want to know what to do. I mean, do I let them examine it? What do I do if I have a gimmick deck in play and I can't let them examine it and they want to? What do I do? Do I just say, no, you can't examine it, and go away? I get these questions a lot from people that personally, that come to me that have done Magic, and they're asking me, or on forums. People have asked me a lot of the time, what do you do if you're using a gimmick and someone wants to examine it? We're going to talk about that, and we're going to talk about how to get away from people wanting to examine the deck. Okay, using psychology, you're going to stop people from wanting to even examine the deck. Okay, so thanks a lot, guys. This video is going on very long, so I'm going to stop it now. But I am going to stop. But please continue to watch, guys. And if you didn't see Mentalism Monday, go back, check that out. If you didn't see Wildcard Wednesday, check that out as well. 2 awesome effects using cell phones. So thanks a lot, guys. And I'll see you guys tomorrow on Finally Friday.